Hi everyone, my name is Willow Rose Moon Dancer. I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca, and I also have a blog called wiccansaren'twicked.com. Today I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a story time, I suppose, and I'm gonna talk about a time when I was working for a Christian family. So this was last summer. I was nannying. I was a traveling nanny for them at first because they were going through the States a bit, and so I joined them and was looking after their 8-ish-year-old daughter. So it's important to first state that I was pretty lucky in the fact that they were relatively open-minded people, in the sense where they didn't care what I believed in, regardless on how silly they thought it was. So when I first started working for them, as I said, I was a traveling nanny, and they are a very religious family, and including their daughter is very, very Christian. And at one point or another, it came up that I didn't believe in God, and she was just utterly shocked. She was asking me about whether I would go to church with them if they decided to go to church while they were traveling, and I said that I thought it was great that they wanted to go, but that it just wasn't my cup of tea, and I would just stay wherever we were lodging at while they went and did their thing. At one point it was just me and her in the car, and she once again was bringing up God, and it came up that once again I wasn't a Christian, but I made sure to not put down her religion. I told her that it was really cool that that's what she believed in, and that I believe that anybody should be able to believe whatever they want. And essentially she looked at me and said, "If you don't believe in God, you're going to go to hell." And she said it with good intention. She wasn't trying to scare me or make me feel bad. She was just genuinely concerned that I wasn't going to go to heaven when I died. But yeah, it made me really uncomfortable, and this happened a couple of times. And then during some point during this trip, it had got brought up that I was a Wiccan. They knew that I didn't believe in Christianity, but they weren't aware of my specific beliefs. So it came up, and the family was actually really interested in learning more about what it was. And so I gave them the basics, although I did leave out any mention of magic or witchcraft, because I just felt that it wasn't important to bring that into the conversation when it's just a small optional part of the craft. The religion is most first about its belief systems, and to me, at the very least, magic is secondary. So I didn't mention that. And it was actually noted between us that even though we have different faiths, in general we kind of have similar beliefs. And that was the end of the conversation, and it didn't get brought up again. And then after we were done traveling for our 6-ish weeks that we were gone, we came back home, and I continued to nanny for them until November, so it was 3 months. I was nannying 2 times a week, 2 times during the work week, and then most weekends, give or take a day or two depending on the week. And then because of this though, I ended up having to work there during various Sabbats like Mabon and Samhain. And so while I was caring for her, we would also celebrate my holidays. But I made a very clear distinction. I was not doing rituals with her or anything like that. I was solely we would go on a nice nature walk, or we would have a meal, a nice meal together. And then if she had any questions, that she asked me, I would answer them about the holiday. But yeah, I was trying to be really careful not to push the family's limits because they are very strong Christians. And I would bring my tarot cards as well to this house, and I would only use them when she was in bed sleeping. And it was to update my blog because I, at that point, had been doing like a weekly tarot reading on my blog. And she saw the cards in my bag, and she asked me some questions about it, and I just answered her honestly. I didn't dive into anything that she wasn't specifically asking me about, but I also didn't just brush away her questions. And then she told her parents about the cards, which is fine, whatever. But her parents made it very clear to her that she was not to use these cards. And then she conveyed that to me. And it just made me really uncomfortable from then on, like having the cards at their place. So I temporarily stopped doing that series. And then I just don't do the series even now. It just kind of got me out of the pattern, I guess. But yeah, so I stopped bringing my cards, and I stopped doing that in my free time when she was sleeping. And then all of this brings us to the big overarching issue that happened. She started asking me a lot of questions about what I believed in, like very specific ones, like who I worship, what happens when you die in my faith. Magic got brought up eventually with this child, and like various creatures like fairies and all that stuff. And she was asking me so much, it got to the point one day where she told me that she didn't like Christianity anymore and that she actually wanted to explore Wicca. Now, in my personal beliefs, I think children should be free to explore whatever faith they want to, and that's how I intend to raise my kids. However, this family was definitely not like that, and they would have been very upset with me if I had have encouraged that, and upset with the child for even wanting. Coincidentally, I left that job that same weekend that this happened in. But yeah, I was really nervous that it would come back on me because I was still close with that family for quite a few months after. But yeah. So overall, that was my experience with working with a Christian family. I think I had it pretty easy compared to some. However, it did present some challenges. But yeah, that is all. Make sure you check out my blog, wiccansaren'twicked.com. I make 2 posts a week, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. And make sure you subscribe to me here because I make videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, blessed be.